Now, they will be able to get a buy-in through round number 6. And you've got to think that maybe a tactical pause might start to come out. I'd like to see them taking banana control a little bit earlier on. It feels like they're very passive towards banana, and it's giving a lot of control away to the CT side.
Molotov's down. Flashes over. Smokes back from the CT camp. The incendiaries as well. HG's on. It is Harry there with the first headshot. Super quickly turns it back over for the CT camp, not allowing anything to go the way of Nordavind if possible. And again, he's going to force them to go back passive and look towards the A-site play.
That was just 2 raw ride swings coming out. Shiro finds 1. Trades are very quick between these 2 sides, and Nordavind might continue the pressure.
Incendiaries back. Inter's going to push through smoke. Axel will find that kill, drop that bomb. NATO suppressed by another good smoke, so there's going to have to push them even further out than this. Good timing on a flashbang, but Inter still gets the pick on the man. The AK of Tensky revealing his final position, 1 on 3 for him. So the element of surprise is gone. The bomb's in the open. The CT set the crossfire. This should be a 5th for JanYT youngsters, making it look easy here on CT side.
Yeah, look, they certainly are, and they're making it look easy. It certainly isn't. But everything at the moment, crossfires, timing, it's looking fantastic. And one thing that I don't think a lot of Tier 2 teams have is how long lineups have been together. These boys have been together for what? It's got to be at least like 16, 17 months. They've been together for so long. I think it was like mid last year that these guys formed. And when you play together for so long, things like timings and rotations and crossfires, it just gels so easily, and that's what we're seeing on the server.
A halfway around for the T side with no real choice or say in the matter. Nordavind have kind of lost control of this. And the economy game was looking awkward there from JanYT youngsters, and it still is, but they're able to force the issue pretty nicely with force buys, so down to the basics here for the pistols, the AK being the only rifle in play for Nordavind, the only firepower weapon they can work with, and they're going to go towards the B-bomb site here. Been a pretty successful element for them so far when it's come to being taken control of. Won the round off of it. Nades on. Oh my god! How more perfect can you get for JanYT youngsters? They are so low. They're all going to die. Super will get 2. They do find a couple of trades back at the very least, but a 3-on-2 with those kind of numbers, this is going to be real difficult here for Nordavind.
I'll get a bomb plant. That's all you need. Bomb plant at the most. And Shiro's going to make sure that he's not seeing anyone go over to the left side, so they know both of the T's have to be on that right side.
Flash smoke in. Tensky, did he make any noise? I think he might have done. Oh no, they're just going to suppress that position. Blind spray. Axel returns some damage. He does get that headshot in though. 2-on-2. Chance available. Into takes HS back, so it's all on Tensky to clutch. Sees that bomb, knows that they're not there. Out in the open, Nature's position doing damage. Shiro looking to face against him. Should know that this angle is pretty much being watched out for. He lines up the player behind him, but doesn't get the player in front. Shiro just has enough time for this to fuse, and therefore it will be 6-1 for JanYT youngsters. A good effort from Nordavind, but the immense amount of damage done by nades.
Yeah, look, those 2 nades were actually placed just so perfectly. Like, they did so much damage, and you've got to think for Nordavind, they're actually pretty happy. They get a bomb plan, they get 4 kills, make it a very expensive round for that city side. And JanYT youngsters just peeking together, wide swinging as a unit to try and face up against Tensky. 6-1 on the board, and Nordavind, they're taking a timeout. They need to have a bit of a breather just to talk about what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, you've been dead quite a few times, Tensky, mate. I mean, keep going, the entire T-spawn's going to be riddled in that spray because, I mean, you guys are getting wrecked at the moment. 6-1 for JanYT youngsters. And it looks to just get better and better. Unless Nordavind can change something. Of course, they have kept these rounds close, therefore the economy is still relatively low for the CT camp. Look at Nafri right past the wood stack. Harry is not known. They think they might be safe in the back. HS going to be dead to the spray, and Super blind onto Croman takes him down. Harry still sitting in the midst of the smoke. Most of the bullets will fly past him. He'll force forward, but the CTs fall back.
Oh, this could be big from Harry, though. The thing is, as soon as contact's made, Nafany's going to drop that smoke, and instantly he can't carry further. Already 2 players going down pretty much instantly in the round, off just the back of aggression towards Nana. Oh, they're faking the flower pot boost. That's a bit interesting.
Yeah. Trying to get out of dodge. Flashbangs over for this defensive, hoping that Nordivind are going to get caught by it, or at least try and time it well against the execute now coming in. The smoke's down, the Molotov's coming out. Crossfire set from the M4 and the AK. Nafany towards Cross to just flash out position. Super's going to get Molotov out of dark, seeing one player. Coppins gets that transfer, looks for his second. A bit awkward on the second man spray. So Tensky actually gets the 2 picks. A 3-on-2 scenario though. From Arsis are out, smoke straight in. And Tensky, here's the body block. Gets a triple. Can he get the quadra or the ace? 2-on-2 situation. Gamma Youngsters up for another retake.
It's down to the Danes, Tensky and NATO Safix to try and hold on to this post plant. Both of them have started to aggress out through coffins into the construction position, and Gambit Youngsters going to tap that bomb. No one's sticking at the moment. NATO Safix peeking out, hasn't seen anything, has seen Axel, but he still doesn't know where Tensky is.
And then let's take in the bomb. Good kill from Axel. NATO Safix going to have to force forward to hear those footsteps. Axel gets the kill, but 10 seconds to the defuse. Should have left up for Inders on the kit, but I think he's just got enough time. Actually, hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
okay.
He's got a kit. Just give it to him. Oh, don't do me like that. Like that's classic CLG.
Mate, if that round had fallen apart thanks to the kit not being used, I think there would be like justification to kick him from the team. Like that is not a mistake you want to make here.
Oh, Kooster had a kit. I mean, that was pretty much exactly the same. But look, that time they just held on to it. A 7-1 Nordivind. A bit of a wake up call. I mean, they would have known this would have been a tough best of 3, but this is their map pick of Inferno.
Smoke set. Now towards the cross position again to the B-bomb site. Nades at the ready with smokes down from the CT count to stop any players coming in from Nordivind. They're not going to play out to that B-bomb site just yet, though. They're going to just rotate back out into the mid and second mid areas, into the apartments for Tensky in particular, the most aggressive player from Nordivind. But it's not active, it's not facing into a bomb site just yet.
Very silent from Nordivind, so Gamma Youngsters don't really have a lot of information on what the play is. A boost up for Supra towards this new box position. And Nafany's got a resmoke. As soon as utility comes out, even before, he's going to resmoke up towards the top of Banana. And this just means it's going to be even slower now for Nordivind.
Smoke down. Molotov in towards the new box as well. Will it catch the Supra? It will catch Nafany instead. Croman gets them both regardless. And finally, a good execute with a man advantage. Tensky, however, traded back over in the apartments. 3-on-3 scenario. And a chance for Gambit Youngsters to retake once again. The AK is in play for 2 of the individuals on the CT cap. And the bomb ticks by. 1 already close. That's Shiro from construction entrance. Croman watching out from the cross. There's 1 player back Banana that won't be watching out anything here on the bomb site. Directly flashes over. Axel gets 1. NATO and HS quickly turn it around. And Shiro left as the lone man left. Turning on towards HS towards the new box. Not expected, but HS adjusts for it. And Nordivind will get their second on the T-side board. That should be enough to break the Gambit Youngsters economy here.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. It's going to mean that they're on a force buy for the first time in this matchup so far. Really like that from Nordivind. Even though that lurk doesn't work out from Tensky, it's, the ability to try and catch off rotators. And we see Croman getting a lovely couple of opening kills out towards B. Tensky tries to do his work on the lurk. He gets taken down, but at least it draws enough attention away for the post plant, wasting time for that retake. Nordivind, this is the chance to follow up around.
1 good pick from Croman. Nafany down to the force by a round. A challenge aggressive from Axel, read by the apartments play. And he goes down to Tensky, running straight into the wall bank. dead and buried. Inters gets one good deagle shot back to return, but a little bit more time to work with and a little bit more work to do for the CT side. The one plot will be secured towards B side. That's basically opened up the AK to get picked up here. If Shiro can get another good AK, that'll be a great round.
Not event. 3 on the board now. A couple in a row. So something to save into the next round of that AK and Scout. And both these players should be able to hold on to their rifles, considering for Nordevin, they're not really going hunting at the moment, and I don't doubt them. They'll realize the fact, if that was a force, that there's not going to be any money going into the next, and they kind of need to focus on their own economy.
And that force fight's going to leave the money line in a really awkward spot here for Gambit youngsters, so... He could have come through around the 2 rifles saved. Inters and Shiro at least have a bit of frag potential on their board. See if they can end up working with it here. They've got mid control already set up from both of them, actually. The AK coming out to cross initially, and the Scout will be there to cover off anyone that comes straight forward in towards second mid. Spray through, drops the first, not the second. Kensky finds a trade back. Scout shot connects to a tag, not a frag. Harry deals with both rifles. We're in a 4-on-3.
And for Gambit youngsters, you've got to think, right, they've got 2 weapons to work with. Just see if you can find some kills with it, and that's exactly what happens. We see Inters and Shiro lights out, very aggressive in the opening fights. Those couple of players go down, and for the rest of them, this round should be pretty much over. Nordevend's going to be running into A, and they only need to deal with the USP of Supra.
USP, you mentioned? Lone pistol, not seen here. He gets the tag on the first man. Whoa, Supra! How's he done that? Against rifles, he's got an AK to work with. Backups on the way. If he gets a 3rd pick, that would be absolute insanity from the man. No, Tensky takes him down. And Deagle's up and Afani, dealt with all the same. Supra! Supra man, more like. How did he get those kills?
What? I was thinking, yeah, USP is probably going to find 10 points of damage and get killed, but no, he gets 2 kills instead. What?
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't understand either. And Gambit youngsters can be really happy with that. 3 kills in a round where they didn't have much to work with. Pretty good stuff. Axel, oh, look at the aggression.
Oh, him and Inter's going to combine for both the picks. This time the second mid face, almost the exact same setup, and it catches Nordevend off guard. 5-on-3 situation. And the damage being sustained by the T-side economy, this could be a back-breaking round here if Gambit youngsters can win it confidently, and they're facing out towards brackets without taking a single flashbang. Shiro's going to get the info on where the bomb and 2 players are at. Can't get the kills yet. Chroman will catch off Axel for that much, but 4-on-3 situation. The CT still at the advantage as the hit looks to start coming through here. HS trying to lead the charge out of the apartments. They're stalled for a second. If they get into this, they can secure a bomb plant. It all comes up to him to hold the defensive here. Molotov out position, spray through, he goes down.
3-on-3. Nordevend are actually in a really great position. It's going to be a long rotation out from the B defender. Even damage done from a nade onto Shiro. A 3-on-3. Chroman's tagged up. And Gambit youngsters don't have a lot of utility, but they do have a kit to work with.
Mars facing, looking down to the pit position. One kit on Nafany coming forward from the short position. Super's going to fall. Awkward turnaround for the headshot on Chroman. And now it's left to Nafany in a 1-on-3 situation. A good start there from the CT camp, and Nordevend chiming right back in.
Yeah, they're coming into their own now. And we saw a couple of mistakes being there made from Nordevend. I don't know if they thought that long was smoked or that someone else was supposed to flash them in, but there was 2 players, both Harry and Chroman, that just ran into brackets. First of all, looking towards short and not over to long with no utility. But it's the entries on the side, the execution, and locking it down in the post plant, which is really important. Finding their groove at the moment, 4 rounds in a row for the international side. And Gambit youngsters, got to think, probably frustrated at the moment that they're not able to find a response.
Double nades, Nafany's down. They don't know what to see to this far pressed up though. Supra in a real good spot here. No flash supporting around the corner, so he's going to wait and see the T-side players clear out. So he's going to call that information back out to his teammates and start setting up a backstab. The Eagles ready towards quad. PT for sure ready to play a counter flash. Harry peeks in, that's the Eagle damage done, and Shiro will go down. Super doing his best, but in the end, Inters will take a frag back. Axel and Super trying back, actually. 2-on-2. Again, they've done damage, but taps to the head. Now clears out the B-bomb site.
And they're just going to run into B. Axel, he could pick up an AK. He could potentially try and go for it. As soon as he clears out short, he's going to realize that they've gone over to B. Nordevend. Croman and NATO Safix in this 2-on-1, and it looks like Axel, he wants to try and go for this fight. He wants to try and go for this retake.
If he takes damage, though, will be no shame in Sim sort of conceding and falling back out position. But no, he's going to commit to it. He's straight out the gate into the cross position.
He smokes banana.
Could do as well. 10 seconds to the defuse is the main issue, I think, for Axel at this stage. And time is of the essence here. He's taking so much time to creep up. No info on NATO or Croman. Smoke down towards Banana will not come through. I don't even think he's got time on the clock, so this one's out of it. This will be a sick for Nordevin. I think Axel is going to go up with the bomb. Indeed he will. Right there are the coffins. No protection. No life. And the AWP. And back in Vashiro on the rebuy here for JanYT youngsters going into round 14. They could use a decent round here. They had a 7-1 start, and now Nordevin have brought 5 back to 6.
Yeah, look, they need to find a response here. Things are looking really good for Nordevin. They're finding a lot of success in the mid-rounds and the executions. And even the retaking ability has gone a little bit sour for the Russians. So one good round here would put them back on the board, get the confidence back, and maybe trying to do some damage over towards Banana. The nades, though, it's actually to the CT side.
Supra trying to hold trades. AWP of Shiro down to 11 points of health, and a nade damage that they were doing so early on here for JanYT youngsters has turned against them, as now Nordevin know how they're going to play this out. Need to find a way to counter that, either by conceding control, letting that utility go to waste, or otherwise. 4-on-3, Nordevin placed up and into the A bomb site hit for this one.
It comes down to a couple of players. Man, what a crossfire these two guys are going to have to try and pull out. A single lurk out to the apartments while 3 players are wrapping in through long.
Up shot, Shiro takes out Tensky. 3-on-3. Backed up by Inters. He sees 2 players on site, and he actually bursts forward to get the kill back on Croman. So time stalled here. 2 players left to make their way out of the apartments. They heard those steps on the drop, and the plant to be secured towards the backline. The Molotov to force one out a mini pit. Inters is going to use that smoke to try and keep his position. So plant secured, AK moving up. 2-on-3 for JanYT youngsters. Again, they have stalled this one. Nordevin have got a little bit quiet as they just look into no man's land and stop the CTs from pushing in.
Shiro's repositioned. He got that kill out towards Speedway, but now he wrapped around Banana in through the back lines. NATO Savage not ready for it. HS, 1-on-3 attempt now, make it a 1-on-2. He knows where both of these players are, but JanYT youngsters are going to be able to get on that bomb, defuse it for an 8th. Nordevin, they just couldn't deal with the players towards the pit in the mini pit position.
Eventually, the double face will come through, and those 1v1s will stop being given up to that lone player on the bomb site, but yeah, Nordevin having a real tough time with that A defensive. Maybe another B play is the best way to go about them. Just stick to that bomb site because it was looking pretty good for them. 8-6 here, and a forced buyback from the JanYT youngsters side. We'll see an SMG in the Supra, so it's really not ideal for round 15, but nature of the economy state here, and still a decent number of rifles. I mean, most of them are AKs, M4s, AWPs and such. Nades up, trying to do some initial damage again. Naflin's going to tank that to the face. HS will take similar amounts back with the HEs and the Molotovs they put down there, but that was 1 HE put out by the T-side compared to an incendiary and 2 HEs from the CT camp.
It certainly seems as if these last few rounds, Nordevin have been able to work around this utility damage of Banana just by holding a little bit more passive rather than up close towards that broken wall and quite aggressive towards Banana. Shiro, though, he's just going to start to walk in. There's the opening kill, but he does get dinged down to 17 points of health.
5-on-4 situation. All ready for another good pick here for Sherry. He's on 17 points of health. She needs to land the shot or just take it and then fall back out position. Regardless whether you hit it or not, survival is of key importance for this AWPer. Smoke set from his teammates, so as soon as he takes that face, they'll know what's up. Straight in with the execute. Smoke down to block them. Super's going to get aggressive towards this corner. Are they ready for it? No, they absolutely are not. Croman falls. He jumps in the air, takes HS. NATO Savage gets the trade. Shiro gets a 2K. And NATO is left alone. The bomb can get picked up, can get planted, but the retake is just so impossible for this man.
He's got so much to do. Does take down Nafany, but he's still got 3 more players to find. He's got to try and get this bomb plant through. He's really running out of time at the moment. And NATO Safix. Oh, even the nade coming down, doing more damage. And that's going to be JanYT Youngsters to find their 9th. A couple of good rounds to recover the half towards the end there. Look at the flying UMP.
Works well enough. Closing out the half, it is going to be a 3-round lead here for the JanYT Youngsters, looking particularly good here. Nordavind. I mean, they did hold their contest pretty early on. Oh, sorry, throughout the mid portion of the half. It was early on the JanYT Youngsters, and later on is where they held themselves pretty well within this half. You know, they looked very dominant for the majority of the rounds they won.
Oh, look, they certainly did. Nordavind were able to get a bit of a groove. It certainly felt as if that they were countering a lot of the plays from JanYT Youngsters. The utility damage wasn't there for a lot of those rounds that Nordavind were able to win, and they kind of used aggression a lot on the T side to counteract the style of JanYT Youngsters, especially out towards that brackets position. You've got to think for Nordavind, only 6 rounds on T. They really need to start to bring it back, and they need a pistol round here if they want any chance of being able to get a convincing scoreline on this first map.
USP's tapping up here for HS, looking for a frag or 2 or 3. Nothing going their way here against the T's. HS, 5 points of health already, and they're going to get forced out the brackets control here. 3 on the B-bomb, so they're going to boost up and hold back passive. JanYT Youngsters slowly start leaning their way in.
And they won't know, unfortunately, that there's 3 players here. And Smoke to either go down towards Coffins or CT with a couple of flashbangs. They do have a lurk to try and potentially cut back through Speedway if they want. No, they're going to show a bit of top banana presence, leave a single player there of Axel, and then go back to this A-bomb site.
Here they go. 4 players on, double flash and Smoke still here for Inters to utilize. Comes to the entries around the corners here, and they've picked the right bomb site because there are only 2 defenders from the Nordavind side. Footsteps are being heard with that force of rotation. It'd be a very long rotation, all things considered. And Axel might even shut them down as they make their way back out. Smoke on from Arch, looking to be a play-in to the long position. 25 seconds. They are taking their sweet time with this one. They'll check out Cubby, and they're going to wrap around from Speedway instead, or at least it's going to be the sold play out here. USP of Croman so close to the smokes. They are running this timer shockingly low. Shockingly low. He gets the kill on Shiro. He drops the whole round. He'll get Suport instead. But now the USP peeks out. The graveyard. Nafany comes in with 2 and big clutch kills to just secure the 3-on-3.
Oh my goodness, that was so low coming out from JanYT Youngsters, really running down the clock. But in the end, some really nice trade kills to come out, and Shiro's got all the information. He's heard everyone coming up through mid.
Unreal. Unreal there from Nafany. Can he do any more is the question. USP still sat towards Graveyard. They are on site. Taps up Tensky. NATO get kills back. Inters takes one of the bomb site, and the bomb's not flying for him. Tensky gets the kill. The defusal will come through, and that'll be Nordavind with a 7th on the CT board.
Oh my goodness. Has he got time?
Wait. Oh, it doesn't! It's 10 for JanYT Youngsters. Last second stuff for Nordavind, and it works better for the T side.
That timer says 0.02 of the last frame. I was thinking about it. So I was like, he doesn't have a kit. Oh my goodness. JanYT Youngsters. Now, I would say months ago, Jay. It's still very similar, but they've changed up their style a little bit. But especially when we used to see them on Overpass, they used to really run down the clock. And whenever we're casting them, you get really nervous when you start running into a site with 15 seconds, and that's the reason why.
Entries looked amazing. Trade frags, not so much. Finally, entry here towards the CT camp as Kroman and Shiro trade back and forth between those frags. The Eagles up against Tensky, and he goes to have to fall back here at 64 points of health. And Gamma youngsters, a lot of aggression coming in. A Gamma stacked towards the A bomb site for the CT camp. And now the T looks to lean towards the B site instead.
Really good reads coming out so far from Gamma youngsters on this T side. Slowly, Nordavin are bringing that second player back over to B, and they might even gamble a third player smoking off mid, but the execution's coming through. They need to rotate now.
Smokes down, nades on. Flash is going to keep Axel or Harry blind. Harry tagged up pretty heavily. He peeks forward, gets two. Axel trades it 2-on-2. Deagle back for Tensky, takes him down. Matt Shiro, only thing left peeking from HS, wins the fight and wins the round for Nordavin.
Harry, that was such a big play. So the fact that he pushes through that CT smoke, and no one's expecting it from Gambit youngsters. No one expects the play of an overextension. And the force buy, well, it works out lovely. Gambit youngsters now have to force on their accord. Now, they do get away with an AK dropped over to Axel, so there is something to work with the upgraded Deagles. But for Nordavin, they could be so pleased with that round.
A big win to take off the back of the pistol win for Gambit youngsters. And a force buy back from the T-side line. Axel got the AK. Set here against Nafany and Co. Kroman. Space around the corner, see Shiro can't take him down. Nafany gonna try to look for the trade. Actually gets that kill on the first man. Super gets HS as well. The Eagles continuing to peek for Super. If he gets another good pick, and he's gonna find it as well. 2 versus 3. Tensky found the trade, but Apartments is open. They can push the bomb, get a plant in.
Shiro needs to make sure, though, if they get that bomb down, that there's assistance there, because Tensky is very close and hot on his tail, but Nordavin are in a 2-on-3. They are going to try and retake this bomb site, and they know where Axel is. They've caught him out in the open.
Even standing as they burst through on Shiro low HP. It's all to the AK of Inters. Uncontested, unscathed thus far. Flash is either going to be evaded here as he looks on, lines them both up, takes that one, not the second kill of Harry. Wins out against the AK with a FAMAS kit in hand, so no timer today. This will be an 8 for the Nordavin.
Oh, man, unfortunate stuff. Oh, the BM!
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You lost to pistols on a force buy. That wasn't easy. Don't give me that BS.
Oh, Harry. Mate, Gambit youngsters are going to be giving it to you on Twitter later when they 2-0 you. Mate, don't say easy when you are not in the lead. A bit of fun between the players, between Gambit youngsters and Nordavin. And, well, it did come down into a clutch. They did get a bomb plant, but for the T side, they really needed a round victory. That was a 4, so they won't have money going into round 19, so they're just going to upgrade a few pistols here and there.
Yeah, the bomb plant bonus should enable a buy coming into round 20. Round 19 is most likely a loss, and Nordavin finally going to get things going on their CT side. Finally look to hold a level of confidence here on their map pick. Gambit set towards the Rackers position, set to the apartments. Gonna try to look for a new way in here. Minute and 15 to the clock, and it is very slow from this T side at the moment.
Nafany, oh, the slow peek in with the Diggle. I think he just spotted a shoulder, but not quite the headshot to come through. Native Sapphics to be able to find the first. Oh, great lineup on the second. And a third kill, maybe? I think he heard the footsteps of Inters.
Oh, he gets the headshot regardless. Does not know that HS was the second man. Is going to try to wrap around. Axel, hold the phone. They've cleared out A site. Native Sapphics has his attention drawn towards Arch and Library. Inter's going to start wrapping in against him. They can secure a bomb plant from here. And Inters is so close. Inters is so close. I don't know if Harry's expecting this position, but the Deagle could be on for a headshot as they round the corner. Misses it. NATO gets that pick back. But for an eco round, a bomb plant already is a pretty big deal. And nade damage done to NATO and Harry. These are two very tradable players.
Certainly are. Oh, Axel takes down Harry. The M4 towards a mini pit. He keeps tapping away. More damage is being done. Tensky's so low. NATO suffers as well. They're throwing in the towel. They're going for the save. Gambit youngsters. Oh, not even a force buy. A couple of upgraded pistols. A little bit of Kevlar. And that's it. That is all they've got. Nordavind throwing in the towel on the retake.
No choice. That HP differential is too much. Knowing they had an M4 in that back line as well.
They've got no money. They have to force.
Yeah, double eco status for the Nordavind camp. The M4s need a bit of backup as well, so it just makes sense to go for the force investment. SMGs will come through. See some drop weapons from NATO and Tensky, I'd imagine. And indeed, they do come out with 2 MP9s and a UMP as well. 11-8 here for Gambit youngsters. Still in the lead at this stage. Nordavind, however, on the defense. Passive defaults this time from Gambit.
11-8, 3 rounds up. You've got to think they win this round. They're looking at potentially 13 on the board because that has to be a really rough eco in the next for Nordavind if they lose this round right here. So much rides on this 20th round. Not really much of a contact's been made from either team. We've seen a lot of utility come back and forward towards Banana, but they haven't done anything for either team. And someone's missed a smoke.
It might cost them a little bit. Gamma youngsters back in the driver's seat, back in control. Their opponent's map pick, and again, to win this, to defend their undefeated map record of 24, looking for 26 by the end of this series. 40 seconds to the clock, and they are playing around some weird defaults here. They're going to set themselves up for the B-bomb site, rotate back out towards A. Probably put some utility down to send them on a fake or a rotation. There's already 3 players here on B, though, and the utility basis from Nordavind will come through now. Trying to hold a bit more cover and defensive on the A site. 20 seconds to the clock, and footsteps will be heard. Are they going to call in for a third man? They know these last second rotations and these hits from Gambit can be deadly. Here they come. Super out of the gate. Bursting them. HS gets that pick. They're both very, very low. Nafany trying to trade back against Chrome. The bomb's been dropped. They can pick it up and get it planted. But a 3-on-2 scenario game by the CT camp.
Nordavind are in such a great position. 3-on-2 retake, and the numbers are here quickly. They've already established the short presence, and they're going to start to synchronize the retake.
Sprays back and forth. Harry going to hold the SMG kill. Inders in the back line in the corner. 2 HP falling to Tensky. And there it is. A 8th for Nordavind, going to a 9th for the CT side. Meanwhile, the first map of LDLC endpoint has concluded, Dweg. It was Vertigo. It went 16-5. Favor to LDLC.
You're kidding. Really?
I'm not kidding.
Oh, you're kidding. 15-5. Man. Well, that was a bit of an upset then.
Second map's Inferno as well.
So interesting. Oh.
The 1-for-1 trades come out here between Gambit and Nordavind. Again, make sure you're checking out our B stream as well for the matchup that will decide the winner's opponents in the semi-finals. Nordavind coming out on top of this defensive towards Banana. 2-for-1 trades against Shiro and Axel.
So far, so good for Nordavind. And Croman. Don't see too many players holding this angle. We're playing anti-flash at the moment to try and establish a bit of a crossfire between HS. Oh, the timing though, and HS looks the wrong way at the wrong time.
They're going to get caught off looking the wrong way at the wrong time again. Focused on brackets as the apartments peak came through. Gambit youngsters turning the situation around. Plant to be secured. 3-on-2. They're going to save.
Oh, that's a round right there where you've just got to, like, it sucks, but there's not really much you can look back at the demo and say, right, if only we did this differently, because it's something that you could only make a decision in the game at that point. HS looks towards the apartments when the swing comes out of Boiler, and as soon as he goes down, Croman's looking at brackets when the apartments pressure comes out. The worst timing in the world for those two players. And that was such a great advantage. A 4-on-3, and Nordavind just have to save onto this AWP in the AK.
This is not a good stance for Nordavind. Again, the economy in a little bit of a shaky spot. Ops and AKs.
Has to be another force.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, the loss bonus being knocked back here. They're down to 1900. They have to go for a reinvestment. Ops, the AK is coming in with the P250s and MP9 to back it up. This is just not going to happen for Nordavind. The Gambit youngsters should be able to control this. I mean, the AWP could find a pick, but I imagine the trades are going to be so thick and fast from Gambit youngsters that they just can't keep up.
Yeah, there's only one at B, so as soon as Tensky, if he finds one or two, he's going to get overwhelmed. This just looks to be a straight commitment. This is one of the fastest executions we've seen from Gambit youngsters yet on the T side.
Smoke on, flash over, 5-on-4 situation. Tensky.
Oh!
Didn't get a leg shot on Shiro. It looked like he did. That was actually, I believe, a HG from his own teammate, but...
Okay.
Plan to be secured, 5-on-4. Retake can still coming from Nordavind. I mean, they're probably thinking about it because, I mean, they'll be on double eco anyway, so, you know.
Yeah, might as well.
Ops out, AK's in, M4 still set for Inters, interestingly enough. Currently playing on the top of the boost boxes. AK is out of position here towards the old grill area, waiting and baiting for the CT cap. Molotovs, nades coming through. Time is ticking away though. Have they even got a kit on this CT side? They do have one on Tensky. Nades and Kroman going to hold down contention as HS goes falling. Manic spray against Kroman. Tensky gets the frag. 1-on-2. Got to get the diffuser. Spray Manic. Super can't land it. He gets it last second. Kroman will get the exit frag. But that was a hero spray that just saved the round for Gambit youngsters.
Oh my goodness, that was like the last tick again on the defuse. I just want to try and see the time. Oh, okay, it was about 1.2. That was down to the wire. Very down. Kroman tried everything to try and help him out and trying to bait out that he wasn't sticking it. A 13-9 Nordavind. Oh, that was vital they win out that retake.
And Nordavind giving me a rebound spot for it. Look at the rush coming through with the USPs. Can catch the Bonda partner actually, but Nafany gonna hold contention for his 4K. Probably the ace actually. Inter steals it away, but the more important thing was to ensure that not a lot of players dropped to make sure the bomb stayed in case they had to go for a hit. 14-9, Gambit youngsters tipping closer and closer and closer to their map point on Nordavind's map pick. Tensky still spraying every time he's dead. At least their spirits are high here on the CT
side. That is true. That is very, very true. And Gambit youngsters, you've got to think as well, especially over the round where you've got a Fammer up for a single player and no AWP out for NATO Safix. Could be one of the more simpler gun rounds that they've been able to face up against so far in this second half. I'll tell you what, there's no one here towards Banana, so if Harry overextends, he's going to find nothing and get information and take Banana away from the T's.
Nades on. Nato and Harry. A minute to go to the clock for Gamma youngsters who are again playing so passively up until the execution point. Bit of brackets and apartments control, hoping to take out the CT forces, but this four-man stack is still going to see any actual face or aggression from Gambit. They're going to wait and bait for a good opening kill or just go for the hit when it comes time.
Very, very slow round once again from the youngsters. And that's one thing that I've noticed from them over the last few months is they've implemented a bit more of some quicker takes and some faster mid-rounds because they used to be a very, very slow team. And for a lot of their defaults, they still are. But they've got that change of pace. The 30 seconds, the CTs are going to bring a third player into this B bomb side. They're going to try and sell a fake over to A and execute here at B.
Smoke down, M4 burst up, Shiro 13 HP, Axel gets Harry, enters, doubles up, 5-on-3, making it 2 as Axel gets his own double. Kroman HS, now HS, left alone as Super swings out from the B-bomb site, the A-bomb site I should say. Taking out one of the exit frags and one player left standing at the save his M4. He might still get hunted by the way. Super's creeping in against him, he's going to face that towards brackets against Nafany. Ooh. In the apartments, might get away, he's been spotted. He loses his rifle, Nordavind have nothing to work with in the next round. You'll get that one frag, grab an AK for it, but It's all about survival from here. The bottom line is still going to be their scoreline. And EZ goes down as 15-9. Gambit youngsters on map point here for Inferno.
And it looks like the streak is only going to continue for Gambit youngsters. 15-9 up on Nordavin's map pick. And they're really starting to find some success now. 4 rounds in a row. And you've got to think, you know, Nordavin have put up a really decent fight. Especially towards sort of the back end of that first half, but never really got going on CT side, unfortunately. They won out some really nice clutches. They had some good retakes, but they never really built up the economy. We saw so many force buys because we went back and forward with rounds. And for Nordavin, they never really even got the AWP out for NATO Suffix. I only saw it in his hands only like a few times in the second half. They've never had the money for it.
Haven't had the money for anything, to be honest. I mean...
Yeah, well, yeah.
Couple opportunities here and there with the rifle rounds, but now on a force buy, and the money certainly is not flowing for this one. SMGs across almost everybody. The one player that doesn't have an SMG has a CZ, so not that much better. So do go aggressive at least. You can see Harry straight out towards Banana. Nade onto his position. Might say a little bit too far out. Actually doesn't even land that close. He gets out of dodge, and Shiro is backed up here towards Mexico. Minute and 30, and Gambit youngsters are just playing their standard defaults that's worked round after round so far.
And Nordavin just gamble stacking this A bomb site for the moment. A single defender of Harry is just jump spotting around that car broken wall position at the top of Banana. Running down the clock, getting closer to a minute. And for Nordavin, again, they still really haven't seen anything on these defaults.
Flashes in, still looking for information. Not seeing anything towards mid is cause for concern. So it's like, okay, well, if they're not held up in there, when they go towards A almost every single round, well, where the hell are they? In Banana? Should we rotate? Are they in apartments? Are they going to come out from a different angle? Like, starting to be concerned, and certainly with the peaks coming in from the apartments area, that's going to sell a little bit more doubt there in the CT camp. But 30 seconds to the hit, and it's coming through towards Banana. The default set smokes towards the coffins and cross areas. Harry here on top of the first boost takes out Axel for one good pick. Tensky close range past the smoke. Tensky's going to get that one pick back, and Nate Savage drops Shiro. The bomb's out in the open here. 4 on 2. Nate gets another kill, and it looks like they'll get away with murder. Nordavin with 10 on the CT board, just about staying alive.
Okay, they get to double digits. Nordavin, that was just so much chaos at B. There were so many players pushing through smokes. And even for NATO Safix, the fact that he's able to get the CZ, upgrade to that MP9, and still win out his secondary gunfight. And Gambit youngsters are going to be able to get a bind back, no problem whatsoever, in round 26. But they have picked up 3 AKs on this CT side.
Four AKs actually. Suffix
that's
has
4.
Drop out for the M4 of Harry. So that's a lot of firepower for Gambit youngsters to handle. The head Kevlar is basically going to be negated on every single face almost. Again towards their defaults, a little bit more aggressive this time around with 3 players in the apartments. They're going to lean away from the Banana control. Would have been not going to push off the back of that. They'll just continue their resmokes and continue ensuring that no one can find their way out into the B-bomb site. It's going to be flashed over towards short, though. The rotation is for that coming in. Here comes the exit. Napany drops straight in. HS gets inters, though. The nade on the low HP player turns us to evens as the plant is coming through.
Oh, Axel, the Molotov. Is this going to put the CTs forward? It's going to actually force them back rather than pushing forward. A 4-on-4 post plant. There is still so much utility on this T side.
Yeah, they're going to defend mid-hole. Flashbang over 2 players. Spotted, only 1 goes down. HS finds a trade. Got apartments control from Harry. Napney's not watching it. He goes down. Next 3 on 2. Man advantage to the CT camp. They're going to drop in C. Super, he falls, and the AWP left to Shiro. Finds 1. Finds 2. On for the clutch to close the map out. But Gambit, he goes for a no-scope and throws the round away. 11 to Nordavin, just holding on by the skin of their teeth, round after round. Harry, stop your BM. That's not true. It's never true against Gambit youngsters.
Oh, another clutch coming out for Nordavin. Ashiro, 1-on-3 attempt, couple of great AWP shots, and Harry's just so up close and personal, tries to go in for the no-scope. And I'll tell you what, Nordavin have probably won 4 or 5 1vx clutches so far in this matchup, which is insane how many clutches they've won. And Gambit youngsters, oh, now they can just rush B.
Nades up. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. That is gonna hurt. And now this next play is gonna hurt unless Gambit youngsters back off, which is exactly what they'll do. The incendiary is there to stop them from making their way around the corner. M4 up, sees Inters, takes him down, kicks things off on the right foot. Follow-up made from Croman as well as the apartments. It does take out Shiro. Super finds 1 frag, and they might secure a bomb plant from here. Super just trying to see if he can get something out against the likes of Harry, but again, the kill's going to come through against the man, so Tech9's recovered. And that'll be 12 for Nordavin. They're coming back into this one, Dweg.
Yeah, they're putting up a really good fight at the moment. The 3 rounds of a deficit. The nade damage was ridiculous, even for Harry, just looking left, right towards that default box. Gambit youngsters. Now I'm looking at the buy and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to be able to buy in 28 and 30, so they've got a potential of 2 gun rounds left in regulation if Nordavin keep winning. And they've got that AWP out for NATO Safix. It's been a while since they've added the AWP in his hands.
Smokes down, T side set to the mid control, into the second mid and apartments areas as well. They're over a minute to the clock. All the action to come through from the Gambit side. The crossfires are set, the 4-man stack on the A-bomb, so you must imagine that Nordavin can hold some level of confident defensive, and this time they're not going to run the timer solo. Harry's ready for it, takes out 1. Croman comes up with 2 alongside HS and Tensky, and there it is. Quick kills out for the Nordavin camp, and they have locked down the side defensive. How do Gambit youngsters break this?
Well, they've got to make sure, okay, let's just half buy. You know, well, don't even really need to, but at the same time, just don't really worry about this 29th round. Worry about the round going into the last. They need a tactical, though. They really need a tactical to just talk things over. Because I don't think they've taken a single tactical in this matchup. I mean, they really haven't needed to so far, but it's getting to a point where there's a big streak of rounds and a lot of confidence going the way of Nordavin.
Up, NATO. Seeing players crossing out, looking for a frag back. The AK here is set for Harry. And goes down. So actually, that's a good frag to find, but doesn't follow suit there. So 4 on 3. Up out, sees Axel, sees Shiro. Tech9 gets overwhelmed again, so they are doing quite an amount of damage here on the T-side line. A flash in from Tensky might stop them for a moment. There's no smoke to cross. They're just going to have to get the kills against the man out, and he gets it on Axel as well. Croman falls. Tensky going to trade back, but Supra holds the Deagle. 1 on 2 for HS to clutch this for Nordavin to keep them alive. Are they really going to lose to an eco?
I hope this isn't the round. An AWP was picked up from Shiro, and they know exactly where HS. They could just try and buy the time. They've got a smoke. They can re-smoke off Banana and make it even more difficult for HS. Shiro going to put it out a little bit too late. HS 1 on 2 clutch to come through.
Checking out Dark, checking out New Box, seeing the man. Shiro hears those footsteps as he's dropped down. Supra, 2 Deagle headshots, 2 big kills. 16-13 for Gambit youngsters. They're going to take Nordavin's map pick, and the streak will stay alive despite the odds. Overpass is up next. It's time to be scared. We're going to a break. We'll see if Nordavin can survive.
Initialize booting. Please Revealing your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant, leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. System online.
Sie wollen wirklich wieder zurück in die Kälte?
Mehr als je zuvor. Die Vergangenheit ist geschrieben, aber die Zukunft ist noch nicht in Stein gemeißelt.
into modern times.
Well, JanYT youngsters, a 16-13 above Nordavind, just being able to secure their opponent's map pick of Inferno here for Overpass. Things get a little bit dicey for the Nordic squad, Dweg. And, I mean, they put up a good fight, but the undefeated streak continues. And something tells me it's going to continue well past this series as well.
Oh, yeah, no, certainly. Yeah, like that first map, it was really down to the wire. We saw Nordavind winning out a lot of clutches, and that was something that I said in the pregame that we needed to see from Nordavind is that a lot of the time, you just can't win simple rounds against a team like JanYT youngsters. It's got to come off massive plays and individuals stepping up, and that's what we saw. We saw a lot of clutches coming out. It was close, it wasn't enough, and it was JanYT youngsters taking Nordavind's map pick. And you know, one thing I want to add that I was having a look at the during the break there, it is actually Inter's 20th birthday today. So what a way it would be to get away with advancing into the semi-finals with a 2-0.
Well, happy birthday, Inter, from all of